12 lab assignment. This lab assignment is going to be 2 weeks long because it's actually two separate lab assignments in one. Reason being, next week we have an exam, and then also it'll be Thanksgiving weekend. I do want to give you that extra time to work on them either during the holiday season or before the holiday season so you can have some time off, or right after the holiday season so you can still manage the both assignments and have them turned in. So yes, they're due. They're not due on Saturday. I believe they're due on. It's on. They're due Monday. Monday, November the 20th. Got all these days confused. We'll fix that right now. Monday the 27th at midnight puts it at the 28th. So it's actually due on the 27th. So you have all that time, and if you still can't get it by the 27th, then I left it at Monday being, my office hours between 6 and 7 on Mondays. So you have not this Monday, but the following Monday to get everything so that you can turn it in. If you have any questions beyond that. All right, so let's get to it. It's going to be, I'm trying to align your specific goals in mind. So I have two activities, and I was going to either do either or on the weekly basis, but I rather put two of them and spread it out for uh, a 2 week ordeal. So you have a chance now to recreate some of the stuff that we've been working on previously, and y'all might think I'm fixated on having you guys create what we call a shopping cart. Um, but the truth is that the programming is evolving. So, like, there's more than one way to skin a cat, and what we've been working in the past was basic comprehension of how things are set up. Now, working with JavaScript, we have a lot more liberty to create um, functions that are more usable in the real life. Meaning, and that now you have the capability to create logic in using arrays, using in conditional operators, using if statements, and using loops to enhance what you've built in the past. So consider what we've done in the past your foundation. And so, yes, in sort of a way, we're coming back to what we've done in the past, but we're enhancing it with better features. So I wouldn't say that we're um, just doing it all over again, but in a sense, we're doing it better. So now I have created two separate activities, activity number one and activity number two, which incorporates arrays, if statements, conditional operators, yeah, for else statements, and the statement in loops. I'm going to keep it very basic on the back end for programming. Your assignment is going to be um, slightly different than what I've created, but for the same token, I'm going to be putting in all the code so you can get to the point where I'm at. So your task is to modify the current code to cater what you're going to end up doing for your project. So in essence, we're redoing our previous assignments better, but we're using the logic that we know now to enhance it and to make any of those and all features that we wish to see in our current project viable. So now you're starting to see, how um, the logic meets the back end logic meets the front HTML, and in a way, for those for those students that are not very well oriented in programming, I completely understand, in a sense that so I have inserted the code, everything you need, but in the same token, I still want you guys to be creative and use it for other than what I have it for. So I want to see different variables. I want to see different front end. You can style it any way you want as well. I've in this week 11 assignment, I saw some very nice submissions. By the way, if you win me over with graphics and material where you're you know how to use the code and it demonstrates with your page, then you can automatically see you're at the you're in the hundred you're in the A mark. So there. I've seen other instances where you just take the code and I see on the back end that it's the same code. There's no modifications. There's no what can I say adaptation. So and there's just some missing elements, that I requested. So I will take off some points. Not I won't be harsh, but at the same time, I'm trying to be fair and for everybody at least to get to a certain point in your programming level skills. All right. So for the first assignment, what I'm requesting is that you pick one of the suggestions. Activity one is again a shop. So for those of you that wanted to do the restaurant, this is your chance, and this is a very good opportunity to take exactly what I am suggesting here that you can do and put that to a test. For the person that wanted to do a blog, same token. For a photographer, here we go. For the person who wanted to do a sports betting, this is also can be implemented. And of course, the person that wanted to do the candy shop, also very doable. So you have all the code to create this very same feature. But now what I want you to do is take it a step further. Insert your very own what you're gonna use it for. Adapt it to your project topic. This is not going to be your project, but it's a preliminary test so that you can be able to create those things for your projects. All right. So another thing that I really want y'all to work on is your documentation. I do not have any documentation on the text code, and I have provided you guys with a text code down here. Activity1.text, activity2.text, downloaded, insert it into your CodePen IO, split up the way you've been taught how to do, which taking your script for your CSS, insert in the CSS portion, taking your JS, putting the JS portion, keeping your HTML intact, modifying HTML, tweaking your CSS, and of course changing up everything that you need to change up in your JavaScript in order to create what is going to be your personalized submission. Like I mentioned before, I have not submitted any documentation, so it is going to be important that you tell me what is going on in your documentation. Very important. It's just as important to write the code than also to be able to understand what's happening. So I want to see documentation. I do not have any documentation on any of the functions or on any of the variables. Therefore, I want you to add for me On each top of each function, we have one. We have an if statement here. I want another documentation. I have another function here called update cart. I want you guys to tell me what exactly that function is doing. I, this will enable me to at least know that you comprehend what is going on in the function. If you cannot tell me that you're just copy pasting it for the sake of completing the assignment and you're not really getting the gist of what the assignment entails when you're creating JavaScript. I know it's hard to create something when you have nothing to go by. So this is what you have to go by. But I want you to explain to me in your documentation why why you're doing why uh, why it exists. So in your first function, I hear add to cart. I want to see documentation as to this retrieves the this particular variable item A, item name, item price, and what it's gonna do. You tell me. All right. Same goes with your if function. Okay, the if function gets this, and what does it do? Right. So again, we're gonna use that. Um, it's this and not that one. It's this, and then this and this. All right. So your documentation will be encapsulated in the slash asterisk / asterisk and asterisk / and that way it doesn't mess around with your code. But when I open up the zip file and I see documentation, I can see how you're manipulating and how you're using it. But more than that, I understand. I understand that you comprehend what's going on, right? And this makes you a better programmer, even if you're not a programmer. So that was activity one. Activity one, what you're gonna submit is a URL and a zip file for each of the activity. Activity 1, week 12, activity 1, week 12, activity 2. And like I said, I provided the code, made it easy for you guys. In that sense, now you have to do your part, show me how you're going to use it, and then show me on your documentation why you're using that code. Activity 2. This is very relevant to the list that I have here on the previous the little interviews that we had. You guys explaining to me why you want to do your projects. So we've taken this upcoming assignment a slightly step forward, but it's actually less code than the one on top. So I provided the code for you guys to have like a job posting board, like a form of employment. This has very wide range of uses that can be used, not just for that. So, in that case, I want you guys to open up your minds, broaden your horizon as to how you can use this code. So, this code, we're going to pull it up in CodePen. Job board. And it's not as much code as you think. It's maybe at most 20 lines of code. And in a programmer's world, 20 lines of code is papitas. So let's go ahead and look at see what's going on here. This job board is it's fancy in the front end because I want to say, okay, I'm going to propose a job board, so I want to take in some information. So, and even though we're not tied to a database, we're not collecting the information to store it. This is all hard coded in JavaScript. It gives us, again, the foundation to when we get to databases, when we get to advanced programming and advanced web design, these, you know, you'll come back, oh, Mr. Tijerina was well, he had something going on when he taught us that. So here, I'm just gonna ask you guys to have some basic inputs. For instance, I have a name that typically does not do anything, but this upcoming one has a drop down list of the positions available. Now, if you have a restaurant, you can do um, part of what I had done on the adaptation stuff. If you're a blogger, you're a photographer, categories, what you're interested in, things of that nature. Here, I want to post that I'm interested in a position in IT, which is one of the three that are available. It's hard coded in the back. So, a couple of things that I did pretty cool, and so you can do the same. Requirements. Now, I asked the question: do you have a degree? And I say yes or no. So, do I have at least 1 year experience? I can modify that, but this is just a basic question. So I can say yes or I can say no. If I say yes, I hit apply, and guess what? I have an alert that tells me, you know what? Since you met the requirements, it is available. How about if I go back and I hit no? I'm not having 1 year experience. So automatically it tells me no, I'm not eligible for employment. Same goes with a cosmetologist here. Do you have a degree or a license? Yes or no. Let's say I have no license, but I have a year experience. You know what? It's gonna say I'm not eligible. Sorry. What if I do? Then yes, I do have eligibility. It is all based on the logic in the JavaScript, and a little it seems simple, but at the same token, it's a lot of particularities. We, like I said, what we are working with are if statements and else if statements and loops and stuff like that. So using these two assignments, they do have that integrated, but more than that, it provides um, usability of those and makes it relevant to something that you're going to use. So yes, I want you to change up the variable, you change up the front end, make it to something that you're going to want for your project, and then test it in CodePen.io, and then grab it, and then copy paste it in your server, and then shoot me the URL and shoot me the zip files for each. Again, since I provided the documentation, I want to see your documentation. I want to see here in the function of eligibility. If you're going to change the variables, fine, but I do want to see where I do this. Oh. That if I do documentation here, and more precisely, what is going on here? Why do we have all that code there? You need to tell me. So documentation, very important. And as a programmer, these are also reminders of, again, why did you put that code there or what it does. So let's say further on the line, a couple of years from now, you forgot about all the code that you had here, but you need to make a subtle change. You need to make a change to adding another element or adding, changing the variables because you have the same variable somewhere else, and you just need to come back and do something to it. Your documentation provides that insight of exactly the reasoning behind the code being used. And you can use that, or you can use line by line, but preferably. So that is your assignment. 2 assignments for the price of 1. You do have the 2 weeks to do it. So what I did here is I added already for you your adaptation case scenario, but not limited to. So let's say you been wanting to make a reservation for a restaurant, reservation for a beauty salon, or reservation for etc. So um, you can modify them, and work it from there. Same thing goes with a shopping cart. We already talked about that. Person that wanted to do a blog can make it to where you have different categories for your posts. There you go. Also for a photographer, even for sports betting, you can also have it adapted to having a drop down for the different sports matches and stuff like that. And then so if you're ready to place your bet and how much and stuff like that, then or you can even make both assignments simultaneous together. And this is very, very, very doable for that person that wanted to do the sports betting project, to have them both simultaneous. That way, not only do you have your options available to purchase your bets, then you have to make sure that all they're available in the first place. So requirements, have you created your accounts, etc. Things of that nature. I'm pretty sure you can come up with something. All right, so minimum on your shopping cart, I'm going to increase this amount to 8 because I've already done the 5 for you. All right, so shopping cart, total tax total, subtotal tax total. You learned that last week, implemented on here too. Minimum 3 scenarios for activity number 2. And what I mean by scenarios is, I shouldn't use the scenarios. I should watch conditions. Minimum 3 if conditions for activity 2. If else. And this weather has me a little groggy already. But yeah, activity 1.text, activity 2.text has all the code just to get you your baseline, and from there modify it to make your own submissions. Do all the way till the 27th, so you have from 2 weeks from Monday. And of course, I'll have my office hours Mondays between 6 and 7. So you have 2 full weeks of opportunities to reach me and have any questions, and make sure that if your code is not working for whatever reason as well, I can have some insight on that as well. Okay. Pretty much sums it up. Don't want to make this video too long now. but yeah, I believe I should be able to make at least more than one attempt. If you're still missing homework, um, I want you guys to let me know by the Monday before Thanksgiving. If you have any late assignments that you need to turn in before then, because that week we do have an exam. Therefore, I want you guys to let me know if there's anything that needs to be graded before then, because I also want to take a little break for Thanksgiving, and then we'll come back the following Monday to answer your final questions before you submit your your assignment, both of your assignments together by the 27th. And then, folks, remember after that, it's all downhill. I believe that will the exam that last week will be your last week before you actually get started on your projects to finish it by the second week of December, the end of second week of December. So that pretty much sums it up. So any questions, please feel free to message me, and I'll try to have all this stuff for you guys available so you guys can work on over it before or after the holidays or during the holidays.